Salmon has got to be one of the most popular fish eaten in Ireland, and this recipe is salmon en croute. So it's done in buttered puff pastry, a nice little bit of citrus butter, which I'm going to show you now, and some spinach. It's very, very simple. We'll talk about the salmon first of all. We're using the organic Irish salmon Darren. So this is what a Darren looks like. There's no bones, it's pin boned, but I've removed the skin. So you see me using this in a couple of my recipes. It's part of the Simply Better collection. And what we're going to do now is just talk about the puff pastry. This is butter puff pastry. So just get the ready rolled puff pastry. If you can get the butter one, brilliant. If not, just the regular one will be fine. I'm going to show you how to make a lovely citrus butter. So butter, salted butter, butter. And this is a great little recipe for any kind of fish. So we're going to put some zest of some lemon and orange, which is really interesting. So that's the lemon and then the orange zest. So go easy on the orange because it can be quite strong. You can put lots of herbs into this. For example, tarragon works really well. Dill if you grow it, beautiful herb. But what I'm going to do is put in some pesto. So I'm going to put in some of the Simply Better pesto into this. I'm going to put in 1 spoonful and mix this all together. So this butter can be made ahead, which is great, and kept in the fridge. So you just mix everything together. You can put lemon juice into it. I'm just using the zest. And this is a very, very simple, quick butter. So we think of butter, we think of garlic butter, don't we? But this is a lovely citrus pesto infused butter. And really, really good over grilled vegetables, even over chicken breast. Now, if you want to keep it, so that's it all mixed through. This is how we would keep it in the cookery school and in the restaurant. We'd roll it in some cling film and we'd roll it into a sausage shape and keep it in the fridge. Label it and date it. That'll keep for about 3 weeks in the fridge, and you can freeze it, which is great. So you can make up extra of this recipe. So we're going to assemble this. So this is the puff pastry, the ready roll, 2 little squares. Very, very simple. We're going to brush the bottom layer with some egg wash. So 1 egg, a little bit of milk in there. So go right to the edges. And when it's ready rolled, you're going to get an even thickness. So just go right to the edge there. Now, next thing we do is we're going to get our salmon. And I'm just going to get a spoon here because we're going to put on some of the lovely butter. So that's our salmon there. So that's the Darna salmon. There's no bones in that. And then just with that lovely butter there, smear that all over just the top of the salmon. Beautiful. Okay, so you see I've extra done there, so don't be afraid. You can pop that in cling film and into the fridge or into the freezer. Some baby spinach, just literally pile that on and kind of just press it down. And then what we're going to do, because this is going to wilt, we're going to then get our puff pastry. Okay, come on. I should have actually kind of crunched it all up, so I'm just kind of using the butter to hold it all together. And then kind of stretch this out a little bit. And then just press this right down here. So just going right to the edges. This is the fiddly part. So remember, the base is egg washed. Yeah, that's the word. So just kind of shape it with your hand. Same with this. Go right to the edge. Don't worry, we're going to trim it up so it's going to look really nice. Make sure there's no air pockets if you can. So press that there. And then right to the top. So see the way we have a little gap here. So you can use a big knife or a small knife, it doesn't really matter. And then just literally kind of cut that off. Same for this. It doesn't matter. You know, you can bake it off. It's just, I suppose, sometimes about presentation. Just go right to the edge there. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to brush this with some more egg wash. And then we're going to decorate it with some sesame seeds and just a spoon. I'm going to show you a little tip here. So just brush it. So this is 1 full egg and a little bit of milk. So it gives a lovely glaze to the puff pastry. So right to the edge. And this can be done ahead. These can be kept in the fridge. I have already one baked because it took about 20 minutes to bake off. 200 degrees. Fan oven. So just with a spoon, just want to show you. So we'll get nice and close for this. We're going to decorate this here. So see the way we're kind of pressing this. I kind of always think of my mother because I used to do this with the apple tart, and that's where I got my love of food. So keep going to the end, kind of like fish scales, isn't it? So just pressing it, sorry now, I'll turn this around and I can show it to you. So just with a kind of like a teaspoon I'm using, doesn't really matter. I think it looks really pretty. Simple, isn't it? And then the last thing we're going to do is put it onto a tray. Oh yeah, this is some parchment paper, so it's a non-stick silicone paper, so nothing will stick to it. So we lift this very carefully on that, and now you can put this into the fridge to let it rest. I'm going to pop it into the oven, and I just want to show you them with black and white sesame seeds. So we brushed it with some egg, just a couple of little sesame seeds on top, and there we go. It's as easy as that. So that is the salmon, the Darna salmon. I'm serving this with some peas. I'll come back to that in a moment. It's going to warm them through, and I already have one baked. So the oven, preheat the oven at 200 degrees, and as I said, the one I'm going to take out now took about 20 minutes, and that really depends on the thickness of the salmon. So parchment paper is a non-stick silicone paper. It's going to puff up a little bit, and then I'll get a nice little close shot of that. Yeah, I just love the sesame seeds and that. I think it looks so well, and it's such an easy, like, there's a lot of eating in that, to be honest with you. It'll leak out a little bit. That's a little bit of the butter, don't worry about that. And then we're just going to serve that with some buttered peas. I'm just going to literally warm up the peas, put a little bit more butter. I've done nothing but talk about butter for this recipe. Peas work really well, or a nice crisp green salad. I don't think you need kind of potatoes, because I think with this you have enough pastry in it, which works really well. When you're lifting it off the tray, just if you can use this here, a fish slice, something like that. And I'm just going to arrange it. I should have got a bigger plate. It's kind of a big portion, but remember, it's very much a lot of pastry. You will have the salmon in there, don't worry about that. So you're going to have a very satisfying eat with this. And I think just some buttered peas on the side is really all you need with this. So these are just some peas cooked with a little bit of butter and some water. Serve it with some salad. Like, this is very, very simple recipe. There's nothing kind of too fancy about this, but it is about really lovely, using the very best of the organic Irish salmon, and really nice puff pastry. And that citrus butter, remember that tip, when you make the butter, see the way I have some left over, wrap it in cling film or tin foil. I think cling film's easier, and then pop it into the fridge and label it so you know when you've made it. So that is my salmon and croute with the buttered peas, the lovely citrus butter, and then inside you have the lovely wilted spinach. So get the knife and fork in there and just go for it and enjoy it. And I think you will enjoy this very, very simple salmon recipe. Thank you.